What's up, Canuck fans? Welcome to The Line Change, a Vancouver Canucks podcast, a proud presentation of DraftKings Sportsbook, as well as a proud member of the Hockey Podcast Network. Be sure to check out the network for your favorite podcast covering your favorite team at thehockeypodcastnetwork.com, the home of hockey podcasts, every team, everywhere. Well, here we are for our post-game show. I know I was literally on here less than an hour ago for our first official live stream, Canucks live stream. And man, it's like what Duolingo said in the chat. If you guys missed it, heck of a game I picked to do my first live stream on. Like, what a dud! Like, wow, man. As you can see by the scoreboard down at the bottom, 6-0. Edmonton Oilers absolutely freaking thumped the Vancouver Canucks. And what a way to return home from a very, very long road trip than to give the paying customer this type of performance. Wow, is all I got to say. We are obviously going to unfortunately dive into the goals and the game stats. I'm not going to bring up the individual stats for the Canucks because Canuck fans probably don't even want to see that. I mean, if you guys really want, I can pull it up on my phone. But I didn't want to make the effort to, screen cap it and whatnot. Plus, I was in a bit of a rush, to get my thumbnail done, the scoreboard finished, and I managed to do that all in like 20 to 30 minutes. So, which is quite impressive if I do say so myself, considering how much work I put into my graphics and everything, my presentation. But I guess let me just quickly dump into the comments. Irvin, first one in here. Womp, womp, womp. Yeah. Ibs. And you know what? I don't even have any notes written down for this game. Because, well, what do I put? This team sucks? Pretty much sums it up, at least in this game in particular. And I don't mean to be negative, but it's just like that was something else. And the fact that it came against the Oilers just feels like a bit of a dagger, twisting the knife, so to speak. But what the heck? Let's go ahead and jump into the goals. So Canuck fans, there were 6 of them. There were 6 goals in the second period, and that was literally all our scoring for the entire game. Obviously, Jack Roslovic started it off with his 13th of the season, assisted by Curtis Lazar, former Canuck, and Jake Wallman, Mr. Gritty. And I'll have to admit, watching this game, seeing Roslovic get 2 goals, looking pretty good out there, man. We'd probably potentially be in a different spot than we are now if we had signed Jack Roslovic. Do you guys agree? Let me know in the comment section down below. Do you guys think the Canucks completely botched that and easily could have gotten Jack Roslovic, gotten that center depth? Perhaps it also makes you wonder, if they had gotten Roslovic, would they have done the Quinn Hughes trade? I mean, that's a bit, tough to, look back on, if whether or not they would have still traded Quinn Hughes and maybe gotten Rossi. But even if you had a healthy Rossi and Roslovic, I think your center depth would be pretty good. But then again, some of those young guys might not end up playing if you had Roslovic, and the team may not be this bad if they had Roslovic. I mean, just look at how well he's played for the Oilers since they picked him up. I know some could argue the whole, McDavid Draisaitl bump, but like I said, Roslovic with his 13th of the season at 3 minutes and 11 seconds. All it took was 3 minutes into the second period before the Oilers finally scored, and it was essentially a domino effect to that point. Then you had Zach Hyman on the power play, his 17th of the season, assisted by Bouchard. I told you that's what I'm calling him from now on. His 36th assist assist of the season. Also assisted by Connor McDavid, his 53rd at 8:49 to make it 2-0 Edmonton. Then fast forward about 5 or 6 minutes later, you had Kasperi Kapanen with his second of the season at 11:42, assisted by Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. So he gets Nuge gets a point. So does Ty Emberson. And then you had Jack Roslovic scoring his second of the game at 14:31. So a couple minutes later, and literally on the Oilers' next shot, assisted by Howard and Savoie, his 14th of the season. Then you had Kapanen scoring again, literally like less than a minute later, and on the Oilers' very next shot. Kasperi Kapanen with his third of the season, assisted by the Nuge. And that made it 5-0 the Oilers. And then you had Vasily Podkolzin at 16:34 of the second period, scoring his 11th of the season. Essentially, like I mentioned earlier, the dagger, unassisted. So McDavid did not get an assist on that because he lost control of the puck. So unassisted for Vasily Podkolzin, once again, his 11th of the season to make it 6-0. And that was the scoring. All that scoring in the second period, 6 unanswered goals. And the Canucks had no answer. And they were shut out at home. I will say Tristan Jarry played pretty damn well. And he made some pretty big saves. So he definitely deserves the shutout. But I also feel as though the Canucks completely collapsed in that second period. Let me know in the comment section whether or not you guys agree. Let's take a look at the stats. Shots on goal for the Edmonton Oilers, 35-31. Face-off percentage was the Canucks were better in the face-off dot, which is a little surprising. So at least they beat the Oilers at something, which was with face-offs. They were 26 out of 45, a 57.8%, while the Oilers were a 42.2%, which was 19 for 45. Oilers were 25% on the power play. Canucks had the lone power play, and they didn't score on it. Oilers went 1 for 4. 8 penalty minutes for the Canucks, 2 for the Oilers. So once again, Oilers only had 1 penalty. I do think that Myers' roughing penalty was bullshit and very soft, and honestly should not have been a fucking penalty. But that's just me. 19 hits for the Canucks to the Oilers' 15. So the Canucks out-hit them. So there's something else that they actually beat the Oilers at in hits. And what do you know? Kiefer Sherwood didn't even play. So how about that? Possibly a little bit of positivity there. Block shots 8-7 in favor of the Canucks. So at least once again they beat. But hey, that's not going to win you games or get you goals. Block shots aren't going to get you goals or win you games, at least for the most part. Giveaways. Here's the one. 19 for the Canucks. So we've talked about giveaways in previous post games, how bad it's been. Well, there's another one right there. 14 for the Oilers too. So they were not that great either. So neither team was really good at not giving the puck away. 3 takeaways for the Canucks, 5 takeaways for the Edmonton Oilers. Don't really have to go over the shots per period. Actually, I can probably bring it up. Sorry, just answering Gerald. Let me dive into your comments real quick just to see, just because I do not want to fall behind, and we got quite a few. Comp runs out of gas in one end, and Roslovic immediately scores after story of the season. Yeah, Sharks. Yeah. Hey, it's Russell. What's up, buddy? Good to see you, bud. Yeah, we won the face-off battle, which is very surprising. Hey, Ross. Hey, Swervin. People are starting to lose today, like in the chats. Yeah, I couldn't keep up with all the chats. People are turning on each other. How was the full game live stream, my dude? I mean, for a 6-0 loss, not bad. I had, lots of people in there. Would have been nice if the game was a little bit better, for sure. But it was great. Turnout was great. I absolutely loved it. Those of you that were in the live stream would know that, how appreciative I was of you all tuning in. Kind of shows that the tanking is new territory for a lot of people. Most fans are used to the mushy middle. Yeah, Irvin, you hit the nail right on the head. Right on the head, literally. That is pretty accurate, right? That is, no, not pretty accurate. That is basically truth right there. Irvin, spitting bars right there, for sure. But I was hoping for at least a little bit of fight from the Canucks, at least a goal. I mean, heck, how the Canucks do their whole, oh, who's going to score the first goal? Believe it or not, I said EP40. I mean, hey, he had a chance, but he whiffed on it. So, yeah, I said EP40, and looks like nobody got themselves a $100 Uber Eats gift card, which I probably would have used, like literally right now. Hey, Bobby, good to see you again. Well, what more is there to talk about when it comes to the game, and other than the fact just how terrible it was? And it's like what I said right off the top of the post game. What a terrible way to treat your home fans coming back from a very long road trip, and that is the performance you give them. So yeah, I have a lot of sympathy for anyone and everyone who was at that game tonight. So I'm not sure if Clay was at the game or anyone else I may know that was at the game. I know Harry was at the game, and he was actually watching my stream while at the game, so that was pretty cool. Edmonton is a good team. Look at how they only needed one period to defeat us. Again, Urban, spitting bars right there. Really surprised that fan reaction in the building was uglier. I mean, as soon as the game ended, I turned off the Sportsnet thing, so I didn't see if anyone maybe threw a jersey on the ice or threw something on the ice. So I'm not sure. I did hear that very loud "Let's go Oilers" chant, like literally while I was watching the game. I could actually hear it. So there were a lot of Oilers fans in the crowd. I did notice when the camera would pan to the crowd. So there's that. And yeah. Now you're probably wondering. Give me one sec. Some of that high quality PEPSI Pepsi. Clay would be happy about that. You know what? Actually, before I bring Irvin on, because Irvin just popped in, you guys are probably wondering, why'd you put Sherwood in the thumbnail? And that's a really good question. I don't know. I just thought to put Sherwood in the thumbnail because you know what? I realized after I got off from the live stream, Sherwood has probably played his last game as a Canuck. He is probably not going to be play another game as a Vancouver Canuck. And honestly, I would not be surprised if tomorrow Sherwood gets traded. I would not be 100% surprised. So that is why I put Sherwood in the thumbnail. You know, a little bit of a send-off. And I absolutely love that photo of Sherwood too, by the way. So yeah, that's why I put Sherwood, even though he didn't even play. But let's bring on Swervin, because I know he's got a lot to say. He's got a lot. What's going on, buddy?
What's up, Ty? Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, totally.
Okay. It's weird. The audio totally changed as soon as I came on. I was hearing like.
Yeah, I can hear you. So.
Okay, now it's better. No, that's way better now. Okay. Yeah. Pro tip: I was wired audio on these webcam hits are a lot better than wireless or scratch audio. I was on uncensored last night in the middle of a pickup game, and it was really bad. I watched it back. I was like, oh gosh, not doing that again.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I was on my phone last night too. I mean, I was standing in front of a freaking gas station when those boys jumped on. I was like, oh, okay, I got to get me in on this. I actually was literally using the gas station lights to help like illuminate me, or else you wouldn't have seen me. It was so dark. But yeah, I know you got lots to say, so fire away, buddy.
Oh gosh. Yeah, as I've been saying for the last few weeks, I've been really detached as far as just watching the games because it's gotten ugly. It was ugly before, and it's gotten even worse now. It's funny. My father-in-law was always a huge Quinn Hughes hater. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like this guy is a modern NHL defenseman, and he's like probably the best we've ever had. And look at where we are now, right? In every game that he played,
Yeah.
we were, like I said, we were one team with him on the ice and a totally different team without him. And the team without him was not a playoff team. So yeah, we definitely reap what we sow. I feel for the people. I'm on a lot of these live streams and I'm in the chats, and it seems like people are really kind of going at each other. There's people saying we should tank, or it's a good thing that we're tanking, and there's people saying that we cannot, absolutely cannot. And same thing with Adam Foote. There's people saying fire Foote, keep Foote. There's the trade Petey, keep Petey, and it's just, I don't know. I subscribe to the theory you just take a breath and let things happen as they happen, because even when they're winning, it's not like you're cheering makes a difference anyways, right? So if you're as big a fan as me, you just see what the next page of the story is. That's it.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm really glad you said that. Just take a breath. That actually reminds me of, believe it or not, Bad Boys. Woosah. Woosah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. I'm not, like, or how does I'm not sure if Russell's still in here. How Russell is going with the. Sorry, you're not gonna get a tank coming along. I'm not as talented as Russell when it comes to that stuff. So.
Yeah, it's a funny.
I'm not like wheels are falling off. So, oh yeah, I saw him show it on the uncensored stream. Which, speaking of the uncensored boys, I caught a little bit of their Eddie Lack interview this morning, and that was some great stuff. I still got to watch the whole thing, but I watched a little bit of it. That was especially when right at the beginning when they're talking about ping pong. And Jordan and Eddie are going like, well, I'm better than you at ping pong. No, I'm better than you at beer pong. And I literally laughed out loud, saying like, ooh, they're going back and forth. But I am going to finish watching that. So far, so good. I thought it was great. I mean, just Eddie Lack. I mean, I know Russell's got him on before. Oh, I already have. Probably going to be more so towards the summer. I did get a response from him, so probably the summer, which is fine. But no, yeah, Eddie. As soon as I reached out to him before, so I thought Eddie was perfect. So, yeah, look forward to that. I have reached out to some other guests as well that I mentioned. I know we're kind of straying away from the game, but I think I pretty much covered the game with just those goals and those stats.
Was there
not really much?
Was there anybody who stood out for you?
I'm gonna say Ogren. I thought Ogren really stood out. He had some pretty good chances. And obviously, every game I watch of Ogren, I am more and more impressed with him and like him even more. I know a lot of people have kind of jumped on the Ogren bandwagon a little bit. I mean, and well deserved because he has shown spurts and some promise. I did like Bouillon's game a little bit. I do still think he's making some of those like young mistakes, which he's going to make. But we're going to be better off for it. That payoff is going to be good. It's like Ollie said, the payoff in a few years is going to be good, and we'll know for sure who won the trade. So I was impressed with Ogren, Bouillon. I think that's all I can think of right now. That's all I can think of right now.
And
maybe if PD hadn't whiffed on that one-timer, maybe that would have been our lone goal of the game.
Oh,
if he hadn't whiffed on that. That would have been a nice goal. But he whipped on it. So
yeah, and with the team as they are right now in the cellar of the NHL, you better stand out. Show something. So I know the little bit that I caught of the game, the color guy was saying for Baines, it's like, this is your chance. There's no better time than now. Yeah. So
I did. I'm glad you brought up Baines. I liked a little bit from him as well. I noticed a little bit of him for sure, but not much. Not much. I did notice a little something from him.
Mm-hmm. He was catching a lot of strays from fans saying that.
Oh yeah.
He's doing nothing. But I'm like, okay, guys, if we were a good team, would he have made it? Would he be on this roster? Yeah. He's a sign of the times.
Yeah,
nothing against the guy.
Yeah,
it's just the caliber of player that he is.
Yeah, that's very fair. And plus, he hasn't really been playing. I can't remember the last time he played. So he's been a healthy scratch for how many games now? Granted, I didn't watch the last game, so I don't know if he played.
Yeah, it's interesting that building a hockey team.
I think he did.
Sorry, I was going to say the building a hockey team is much like playing a hockey game. You can lose by a series of errors, and that's definitely where we're at right now.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, for sure.
And another one that I was
Connor.
Another saying I was thinking of is what Gretzky's dad used to tell him is go where the puck's going to be, not where the puck is. And so you kind of it's tricky because with building a hockey team, you have to really see far out where guys are going to be. And with the guys that they've locked in on, there's like guys like Demko and Besser. There was red flags there. Wouldn't you say? Oh. Sorry, did you catch that? Any of that?
Sorry, the audio kind of cut out a little bit there. No, I didn't. Your audio cut out, or it might have been on my end.
Okay, my bad. I just tell me where I left off.
I think you were talking about Gretzky's dad. Yes. I did hear that part.
So something he always told him was, as in the game, you want to go to the puck where the puck is going to be, not where it is. Because if you're chasing the puck, you're always behind. And that's where we're at with the Canucks. It's like if we're chasing what teams are and how good they are, and we're trying to push in with assets and making trades for winning now, we're behind. We're way behind, especially with teams that are ahead of us in their builds. And I was just saying about how players are a lot like stocks, and you have to foresee where it's going to be a few years out. And the trouble with guys that they've locked in on, like Demko and Besser, the red flags were already there before they signed those extensions. Demko with his health and Besser with his inconsistency. So, again, they reap what they sow.
Yeah, pretty much. And we got some comments in the chat, and yeah, we got Connor's in the chat. Good to see you, Connor. Justin, what's up? J-Dog. Duo, of course, Duo's always here. I love it. Connor does ask, did Ogren do much on the top line tonight? Well, it's like what I said. I actually noticed him on the top line. He had some good chances. And I was actually a little surprised to see him on the top line. I was like, finally, put him on the top line. Especially, I did like that first line of PD, Carlson, and Ogren. Maybe Swedish Touch 2.0. I still think it's, maybe if it was Ogren, PD, and Höglander, I would be like the Swedish Touch. This is like 2.0 or 1. What 1.6 goal?
Yeah, all of a sudden we have a lot
I don't
again,
know.
don't we? And then we could potentially get
Yeah.
Stenberg too.
And then also that kid from San Jose that I was talking about the other day. He's Swedish as well. Bysted.
Oh, do we have that guy?
No. He's a potential target if they were to trade Sherwood to San Jose. He's someone that the Canucks could get. He's a former first-round pick. He's Swedish, 6'2", center/winger. I looked up his stats and I was like, holy shit, this kid's actually freaking good. Playmaker, big body, speedy, and I was like, put this guy with Petey, and I think he might potentially unlock Petey. Mind you, how many times have we said that now with wingers for Petey? But this kid looked really good, and I was very impressed. So, yeah, he's someone that Dolly mentioned the other day. So his name kind of jumped out to me. So if we do trade Sherwood to the Sharks, I would, and if the Sharks offered Bysted and a second-round pick, I would take it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I've definitely cooled on what I think is going to be the return for Sherwood. A couple months ago when he was scoring his hat tricks, I was pretty high on him, but now it's just like you have to be realistic, right? It's a first liner is what you trade a first rounder for, and any team that's acquiring him is not going to use him in that fashion. As much as we like the guy, I think we do you ever feel like we overrate our players way too much? Nope.
Sorry, just give me 1 sec. Oh, you know what? Let's make this menage a trois. Boom. G. Oh,
guys.
What up, buddy?
Irvin, you and I should be ashamed to wear this.
Did you? I really hope you didn't catch any of that.
Catch any what?
I'm wearing this this hat in honor of the designer Joe Borovich, original designer, recently passed away.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Ouch.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Respect. Yeah, what's going on, boys? Like, I obviously didn't watch the game. I listened to it on radio through the NHL app. So it was Landon and Batch, I believe. And it was just, dude, it was like gong show. Like the second period, like what the hell happened?
Yeah. It's like
I
the
don't
real sell
understand
off.
this.
So you were, Gerald, you were audio only?
Yeah, audio only. Because
Okay.
yeah, I didn't bother looking for streams. I was in a rush. I was packing to get to the airport because I'm actually at the airport right now. And
Probably better
waiting. Yeah, it's probably better off not wasting time watching something and be pissed off while I'm on vacation. So what's good? What's good? So what's the highlights of the game? Are there any good highlights? I mean, at least I noticed that Roslovic, who we could have signed, had a pair of goals.
Yeah.
And then there was, who else had another pair of goals for Edmonton?
Kapanen.
I know Kapanen, which was also an off-season. I think it was off-season.
I think
2 off-seasons ago.
Yes, prior to the 2024-25 season, he was an acquisition.
Yeah. And then Podsy comes back into the barn and like gets a goal,
dagger,
like a tap in. Like, come on, man! Like this is just rough stuff. And I mean, it's painful. That's why I never use the word tank. I was on Jordan's stream briefly yesterday, and I said, you know, the team tank movement. He says I'm trying to like separate groups. I'm not, man. Like, I mean, even within our CCC, there's someone in the group that isn't team tank. So that's why I brought that up. not who's not on Team Tank. I'm not gonna say, but Irvin, you know for sure who I'm
Uh,
talking about.
more than one.
More than one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was also on
Funny.
Russell's stream and I
Side.
saw someone like going at it with Shannon. Like, what the hell's going on? Like what's up?
Yeah, and I try not to take part in that because it's like just people are gonna think what they want to think. It's fine. Here's what I'll say about tanking is that there's a lot of things that can be true at the same time. One is that we needed this for change to happen and to get a high pick. But two is that it's painful. It's painful to be in this situation and see these guys play the way that they're playing. I think as I heard on Donnie and Dolly, they were comparing it to going to the dentist. People need dental work, right?
That's
But
a very good analogy.
Do they want to go to the dentist?
Yeah.
No. Even just for simple cleaning, I've gone to trips where they're scraping on your teeth. It feels like nails on a chalkboard in your mouth. And then yeah, it's a great thing for your health, but I'm not happy after doing it. You know?
Well, you know what? Put it this way: if I enjoy going to the dentist as a kid, but as an adult, not so much. Especially if it's like really deep cleaning, because the 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 noise that tool makes is just yeah, I can't deal with that. But you know, you look forward if you have a good dental hygienist who's hot, then that eases the pain, right?
Yeah.
But you know,
So going back to our topic, I'm Team Tank in a hybrid form.
nice. I love that. I love that.
Let me explain. If they lose and they get a high pick, yeah, sure, it's great. But when I'm watching the game, of course I want them to win. That's because that's my team. I am Vancouver.
That's why you don't watch.
Right?
That's why you don't watch.
Pretty much. Like
And you said,
do you remember the COVID year when it was the North Division and we were still playing a game when the season was over? Even that game, I wanted them to win. It didn't even matter. You know?
Yeah. So that's why the mentality is if you are watching, you want them to win. You're not going to watch them lose. So if you want Team Tank to happen, then you basically just don't watch.
Who's it?
Let it be.
Herm Edwards. You play to win the game. That's the beauty of sports. Remember, you guys know that quote?
Yeah. It's hilarious.
Because otherwise, what's the point? We might as well just cancel the rest of the game, the season, or just forfeit. I don't know. It's stupid.
Yeah, I totally agree. What's up, Justin? Credible. What's going
Mail
on?
it in.
It's a party.
Thanks, Tyler, for sending me the link.
Yeah, no worries, buddy.
Four-way now.
4-way. Yeah.
Ménage à quatre. Ménage à quatre.
I was about to say, yeah. Yeah, well, Justin, thoughts?
I just wanted to see a response. I was cheering for a loss because I'm Team Tank. So obviously, when I heard the news that Draisaitl wasn't going to be in tonight, I was like, hey, we might have a shot to actually, unfortunately, win. Because, you know, the fact that the Oilers lost their last game, they got shut out. But they also got shut out by the Isles. So I was like, they're going to be pissed off coming into Vancouver, getting shut out by the Isles. So that's not a good sign with McDavid and Draisaitl. And then we hear the news that Draisaitl not going to be playing tonight. So I expected a much closer game. And first period looked promising. You know, the team was skating. They had shots. They had chances. They were matching the Oilers stride for stride. And then somehow the second period just imploded. 6.5 minutes. In a 6.5 minute span, it went from a scoreless game to 6-0. Right?
So you actually watched?
I was eating dinner at the time, and I came home and it was 1-0. So I was like, okay, I'll eat my dinner and watch. And then next thing you know, I look up and it's like 3-0 already, and I was like, this one's over. There's no way this Canucks team is getting 4. So
Yeah,
And then it just
you
got
sent us a message. You sent us a message, and it was 2-0 at that point. And I was like, if I'm in Vancouver right now, I'd throw some money down for the Canucks to come back.
yeah, you
Oh
literally
boy, was I wrong! Boy, was I wrong! My God.
yeah. It was 3-0. And then literally just after I typed the 3-0 message to one of my other group chats, I was like, I look up, it's 5-0. And I was just like, okay, well, this one's the blowout, what can we expect? But I wanted to see a response. And if you're going to get blown out on home ice where we've been so atrocious this year, show some pushback, hit somebody, punch somebody, take a penalty. I don't care. It's not like our penalty kill is doing anything anyways, right? Just show
Didn't
some fire,
didn't
show some spirit, right? Especially for the young guys developing. Nobody did anything, especially the veterans.
didn't
And I'm going to call that on Besser, DeBrus, Petey, Pedersen, Marcus Pedersen, Hronik. Any of the veterans should have at least laid out a couple big hits. If it's a penalty, it's a penalty, right?
Yeah.
Don't take that, sitting down like the way we did. It's not a good culture setter for the young guys to accept that we're getting
didn't
trash on home ice where we've had 4 wins all year in 20 games, and you're just gonna, fold, right? So that's why I think I'm most upset at the veterans. You got to trade anyone who's showing that sort of attitude where you're gonna have bad nights. It's a long season. You're gonna have good nights. You're gonna have really bad nights. But on the bad nights, at least show some fight. At least show some pushback, right? And nobody
Myers
did anything.
had a penalty though. Myers
Huh?
had a penalty at the end of the game.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
I heard
Like-
something about McDavid getting punched in the face.
Anyone.
Russell said something about that. I didn't watch that part.
The sad part is we were getting outworked and outscored by former Leafs and former Canucks players. Like Kapanen. Like, holy shit. Like Kapanen, Roslovich, we could have signed in free agency. Podkolzin comes back to burns us. Curtis Lazar. Like, McDavid had a pretty quiet night on the most part. Right? And Bouchard had a few chances. But other than that, like, it was their bottom 6 that was outworking our entire team. So it was absolutely embarrassing. And, Monday's game, I'll be at the game thanks to, a donation. So I'll be at the game with Clay. But at the same time, I'm hearing that Horvat's not going to be playing. So we'll see if the Isles... Yeah, we'll see what the Isles can bring. Right?
Yeah.
What jersey are you wearing right now?
I'm wearing Montreal.
Oh, okay.
The old school blue retro Montreal jersey. Because that Ottawa Montreal game,
Oh, sorry.
that was something else. Cole Caulfield, 3-point overtime winner, got me a whole bunch of fantasy points tonight, which I desperately needed. So I'm repping Montreal because
Nice.
yeah,
No,
that
Montreal's a
Montreal
nice
team
young core.
coming. So
Montreal's
I don't
a
know,
nice
man.
young core.
I
They works well.
Suzuki, Slavkovsky, Demidov, Lane Hudson is
Dog.
like a mini Quinn Hughes. Yeah, Lane Hudson is like a mini Quinn Hughes up and comer. Caulfield. And even like their depth guys. I know Gallagher's having a little bit of a rough year. Josh Anderson, But then they pick up Phil Deneau, which is like an ideal 3C, ideal 4-checking 3C, veteran that can, shut things down when they need to, right? So they're only going to continue to get better.
I love that trade, to be honest.
I love the Deneau trade.
To come back, and it was only, I think it was like a 3rd or 4th round.
Yeah, very low risk, but for that sort of leadership and that sort of, face-off winning pedigree, I think it really was an upgrade on their 3rd line as a grizzled veteran, right? So I think they had Kirby Doc playing Kirby Doc or Jake Evans as their 3rd line center before the trade. So now you upgrade your 3rd line with Deneau, and you can move Jake Evans down to your 4th line, which is a speedy 4th line shutdown center too, right? So they're only continuing to do good things there. And I think it's just they're on the rise, and they're going to continue having such a great young core to be excited about. So a little bit envious of how well they've rebuilt, and I just wish we were in a similar position, but it might be a few 4, 5, 6 years, you know, until we see any sort of results from our
I
Canucks.
I don't think so. I think Irvin was also looking at the hybrid retool
Yeah.
like side. It's
Yeah.
gonna be more. I would, you know, I'm usually optimistic, right?
Yeah.
So I would say 2-3 years. That's what's gonna happen.
To be a
And
contender or to
it's
be a playoff team again?
playoff team. Contender
Playoff
maybe
team.
4,
Okay.
but it's also very dependent on where PD goes. Like I think right now they should, you know, I never said this once on any stream that, you know, I was busting on PD for the longest time, and never have I said trade him. If he's willing to go, let him go. You know, you know what, he just needs better wingers. He needs better players around him, and you know, it's kind of like Evander Kane in a sense. Like Evander Kane played well because he had good another winger, a good centerman. If PD has players that are kind of like JT on his wing, and who can also step in and take faceoffs as a backup, bro, like that would be a good top team. Like you can't depend on PD alone, and you can't really build a team around him. He's one of the supporting pieces.
Well, and
Is
that's
what I'm
why I
trying to
thought,
say.
yeah, exactly. And that's why I thought tonight's game, PD had an advantage. You know, McDavid's generally not a good faceoff taker. Draisaitl's their best faceoff taker, and he was out. So that really freed up PD to be more efficient than he was in the faceoff circle because he could get away from that Draisaitl matchup, right? A lot of PD's confidence in his recent streak is obviously having more time in the offensive zone, and in order to have those opportunities where he's been scoring, and I'll give him credit for that, is, you know, you got to win the faceoffs to get the possession to begin with. You lose the faceoffs, you're already killing 10, 15 seconds and you're behind the ball chasing the puck.
Sorry,
Right.
guys, I gotta hop off. I'll be in the chat though.
All right. Take
Take it
care,
easy,
Irvin.
Nice seeing you, brother. Nice seeing you, Irv.
So, yeah. So we'll see. I mean, with PD, you know, I thought he had an advantage going into tonight with no Draisaitl matchup in the faceoff circle, but he only managed 50%. So very quiet offensively. Defensively wasn't, you know, he was a team worse, -4 tonight. He got burned on a couple plays tonight on a couple of the Oilers' goals. He missed a bouncing puck on one play, and it ended up with a happening goal the other way. So, you know, it was a little bit about bad luck. I'll give him a little bit of credit on that. But at the same time, -4 doesn't look very good with 0 shots and being a $11.6 million player. And I know both the Rangers and the Canucks are in similar positions. The Rangers are opting to do a quick retool due to their letter that they sent out to their fan base, and they're going to not extend Panarin. They already made it public that they're not going to offer Panarin an extension. So Panarin's going to be on the trade block. I'm also hearing that Vincent Trocheck might be on the trade block. How would that affect JT Miller? Because Vincent Trocheck and JT Miller are best friends. And JT Miller was thrilled to be traded back to New York to be reunited with Trocheck, right? So if a Trocheck trade breaks down, does JT move too? And the whole questioning of JT being the captain as the wrong decision, yeah, it may look that way right now, but 2 assists in a win today. He's only 1 point behind PD now.
Well,
1
come
point
on,
behind
man.
PD,
Why?
and with
Like,
PD's -4 tonight, PD's actually 1 minus worse than JT Miller.
like
And that's
what?
shocking to say because the Rangers have been shut out 8 times this year. And
And
they've
how many
been
times on home
throttled,
ice?
you know, a lot recently,
A lot.
letting in 8 goals a game, 9 goals a game, 10 goals to Boston, you know, so, and the fact that they have a better home ice record than us and a better goal differential than us.
No, but all their
Like, that's
all their
brutal.
shutouts were home.
I don't even know what to
the
say beyond that. Like, I know JT's, you know, he sucks too, and I'm not gonna I've been a big supporter of JT Miller, especially when he was here. And I'm still a fan of the way he plays, but I can even admit and confess that he's having a very bad year. And I know that we traded JT over PD, and that was, the right decision because PD's younger, his contract is obviously longer and stuff, and you got to go with the higher ceiling guy, which is PD. But man, has PD's game fallen off a map, the last 2 years. And both contracts right now look like they're going to age horribly, if so.
Oh, I think lost Gerald. Yeah, you're exactly right. Yeah. I saw a bunch of stuff, with Miller and, seeing a bunch of Rangers fans going nuts over Miller and his comments, especially after that, what was it? Game against the Senators. Yeah, where he was like,
I don't know.
I think Miller was like, no shit.
Yeah, it's just like
something about the first period, and he's like, no shit. And then Rangers fans like attacked him over it. It's like, what do you expect the guy to say?
Yeah, exactly. Like your team just got dropped, 8-2, 10-2, right? Your team's like horrible this year. What do you expect the captain to say? Obviously, you want a little bit of accountability and leadership, and for them to say that this is unacceptable. But how many times can they say that and not see a change, right? So the funny thing is, before the season started, the Rangers team mantra going into this year was no BS. So I just kind of find it ironic that, they want to be a top team to play again this year and that they weren't going to accept any, bullshit, for lack of a better word. And the way that their season has gone is, just kind of ironic on that mantra. So
I'm actually surprised Miller didn't use that word either. Be like, it was bullshit. Sounds like a Miller thing to say, but Gerald, did you want to weigh in on that? I know you were kind of jumped off.
No, like I don't know. I think talking about JT, it's
audio.
over. Like it's. Oh, can you hear me? You can hear me, right?
Oh yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good. I'm only staying for another 5 minutes. My flight's actually boarding.
Okay.
So I'll throw in last thing. I don't know. I was going through the chat reading, and Connor said he didn't agree with like my notion. I don't know what he. Okay, you win or don't compete at all. No, but the thing is, it's the mentality about cheering on a team to do well, but you want them to do well for the future. So it's the long-sighted or short-sighted fan that you have right now. Those are the two. So I don't want to use the word tank because tanking is just, I mean, it's just sounds so bad, right? And in this environment right now, we should all try to be positive. So we'll just say the short-sighted fans don't understand the game though, and leave it at that. Like I could be the long-sighted fan, I understand it, but I'm not going to be cheering for them to lose, just like what Irvin said. And it is tough watching those games because I have to refrain myself from throwing a remote or my phone at the TV, or just throwing my phone because I watch it on my phone sometimes. So that's the frustrating part of it, and it's kind of like the growing pains. So for the fans or for the viewers that are watching this, there's only about 30 games left in the season. They'll start playing a little better, and gut it out. Maybe don't watch this year for the rest of the season, and then we're in luck. We have Olympic hockey, even though the ice in Italy's shit, and there's like a 2 centimeter hole in the ice they have to like fill every period. But you have the best of the best playing there, and it's not the stupid four nations. You have, Draisaitl has his soon. Germans are going there like that. They're going to be like a black horse, to be honest.
Yeah.
And it might not be Canada and US, but you have interesting and exciting hockey going on in February. This is a good year to so-called tank because you have so much other hockey you can use. And as a proud Canadian, you could be cheering for your Canadian team. Or if there's a player that you like, cheer for their team. So come on, let's this is a write-off this year, and we'll leave it at that. And back to that whole GT thing, his contract, I think it's fine. I think it's $8 million for another 6 more years. With the cap going up, it's fine. You're paying, you basically paying a third line player $8 million.
Yeah.
So it's not too bad. Petey's contract, on the other hand, that is a tough one. With the contracts going up, him at 11.6, it is a top line money right there. And unless they retain, at least a couple million, maybe, I don't know, 2.6, 3.6, something like that, they're not going to get rid of him.
Yeah.
And the assets coming back, it's going to be tough because it has to be a serviceable center, at least a 2C.
Yeah.
And you need another prospect and a first rounder. I think that would be the package right there for Petey. Because typically for players like that, you're looking for, a couple first rounds. He's not Quinn Hughes. So Petey is like, I would say a 2C. And if they were able to haul a first rounder, a serviceable young under 25 2C or borderline 2C, 3C that can develop into a 1C and maybe another extra prospect, dude, I would take that and run. And maybe they'll throw in like a second just to retain salary. Or if they retain it and get the 2C, the first round pick and the prospect, just take it, retain it and take it. I think that's how it should be done.
That first rounder is actually, surprising because I honestly think depending on the package, I know teams are calling supposedly on PD. And I'm not sure what sort of packages are being discussed or thrown about, but I know Detroit, Carolina, LA were teams that I've heard mentioned could have interest in P. And I was like thinking immediately LA, a Quinn Byfield would be, a starting point. But of course, I know LA is not going to even approach the.
Not a chance. Not a fucking chance.
I was like, they need a 1C to replace Kopitar. Kopitar's done after this year. Take PD, right? And we'll be happy to take Byfield and a B tier prospect and a second even. That Byfield would be a solid, young guy that we can probably develop. But I think
guys, sorry, I gotta go. But when's the next game? Monday,
the Islanders.
Monday, yeah.
Okay. Monday, so it'd be my Tuesday. I would be. Sorry, I don't even know where I'll be because I'm flying to so many cities in the next like now I'm going to Bangkok, and then I'm staying there for the night, and then I'm flying to Shenzhen the day after for a night, and then the night after that I'm going to another city in China. Wow. So I think today is, what is it, Saturday there?
Saturday.
So it's Sunday for me.
Yes.
Sunday. Yeah, I'll probably be in China. So I will try to hop on or, I don't know, send a message or be in chat. But, China, there's so much censorship that I might not be able to. So if not, then I'll see you guys in a couple of weeks. And, we'll go from there. And maybe it'll be at that point, what is it? 12 game losing streak, which maybe will be the longest because right now they're tied, right? For the longest at 10.
They're tied right now.
Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised it goes to 11 and then they win the game. And that would be Jersey? No, that would be Washington. It'd be against Washington.
Yeah.
Because I think it's Islanders, Washington, then Jersey, and then Pittsburgh.
All coming to town. So
yeah. And if anyone wants tickets, or looking for tickets or that are looking to go, I still have Jersey tickets that I'm trying to get rid of. I can do it for cheap, whatever. Shoot me a DM and we'll talk about it. Also, I'm trying to sell my Shoresy tickets because I won't be in town. It's on the 26th. So if anyone's looking for that, also DM me. and if not, maybe we'll do like a draw of some sort on one of the streams. Thinking we could do it here, we could do it on Clays, we could do it on, I don't know, maybe uncensored. We'll see. But if anyone is looking for tickets, let me know. I'm about to board. I'm already at the gate. So thanks for having me, Tyler. Nice chatting with you, Justin. I'll see you when I come back.
All right.
And go Canucks, go.
Have a safe flight, man. Have a safe flight. Safe travel.
Have a good one, guys.
Safe
Take
travels,
care.
buddy.
Yeah. Take care.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Bye.
All right, that was awesome. That was
awesome. He's awesome.
Been a while since I saw that guy. Been a while since I saw him.
Oh,
I miss that guy.
Especially
Post games just are not the same without him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
To have your sidekick, right? So.
Yeah. We got 26 comments. I've kind of been more focused on this, so I'm gonna try and see if I can get through these comments. There's so many.
Wow.
Okay, so here we go. At the start, as I see Swervin's womp womp right off the bat. Yep. Okay, where did I leave off when I brought you guys on? All right, yeah, there you are with the EP40. No, oh wait, I see where I left off because Connor made a comment about me living on the side of a mountain. Yeah, I know. It sucks.
It must be some
I would much rather live. Less cars going by.
Exactly.
Definitely, for sure, and quiet. It is pretty quiet, although the coyotes are something else.
Imagine.
Game was over in a 6.5 minute span. Okay, yeah, I think we got that.
So one thing I do want to say is, the Canucks have 21 home games left, and I made this take on, I think it was Clay and Canucks Uncensored the other night when there was 22 home games left. I was like, the Canucks are not going to finish the season with more than 10 home ice wins. So that means 6 more. 6 more wins in the next 21 home games.
Yeesh. Saying that out loud. Ooh. Oh, man.
Our points percentage in the standings is just horrible.
All right. Just seeing. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Enjoy the flight to Bangkok. Yeah, I'll admit I kind of chuckled a little bit when he said Bangkok. I mean, who doesn't?
It never gets
at
old.
This point? It never gets old, man. That's one
thing that
will it will never die.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be safe, Gerald. Yeah, definitely. Man, I gotta say, man, I wish I was in Gerald's spot, traveling all over.
Traveling the world.
Oh man. But then again, maybe the roles would be reversed. He'd be doing the content, and I'd be the one traveling. Imagine that. Good luck selling any tickets. Yeah. Many will be going to these games for the rest of the season. Oh, yeah, especially after that thumping.
Yeah.
Here we go. 7 games left to home 10. Are the Canucks going to win any? I mean, they could. Like you mentioned with Horvat not playing on Monday.
They will.
Yeah.
I don't see them going 0-8, even though as much as that would be ideal, I don't think they're going 0-8.
Mm-hmm. I could see them winning at least. I mean, I was hoping it would be tonight, just because it's the freaking Oilers. But Canuck fans can't have nice things.
No,
but yeah, I see them winning at least once. Perhaps maybe Monday. I guess the Islanders.
7 more games. Yeah, I can see them 2.
Yeah,
they might surprise us.
I mean, who knows? Maybe Monday they come out, firing on all cylinders. I mean, just look at you mentioned with the Oilers. They got shut out the night before.
One thing I do want to note is tonight's. I was interested to see what the fan reaction would be, the home fans' reaction after a winless road trip and a 9-game losing streak. coming back home for the first time, I was going to be like, how are the fans going to react? Are they going to boo? Are they going to, throw jerseys on the ice? Are they going to, understand that this is what part of rebuilding is and that there's going to be a lot of losses coming along the way and they'll be more supportive and understanding? I couldn't really tell from the broadcast watching at home because the majority of the fans were Oilers fans and the Oilers fans in attendance were loud. They were like chanting, "Let's go Oilers," cheering every time the Oilers, and it was kind of muting any sort of Vancouver reaction, if you want to call it that. So we'll see on Monday night because, I expect a lot less Islanders fans in the building and more Canucks fans on Monday night. So we'll see what sort of reaction the fans give the Canucks on Monday. So
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, like you said, it's gonna be interesting. No Horvat, but hey, Matt Schaefer will be. So I mean, he might
go off.
They may not even need Horvat.
Yeah.
With Schaefer, man, that kid is something else.
And the Islanders actually started Rittich against Calgary tonight, so which we're getting Sorokin on Monday.
Yeah. And so, I mean, he's hit and miss. He has his good days and he has his bad games.
Yeah,
but he's still one of the top goaltenders in the league. Still,
I would think he's still top starter.
Oh yeah. I've always heard, for years it was not in any particular order, but I've always heard it's Shesterkin, Sorokin.
Yeah.
I can't name a third, but those were like two big names that people constantly talked about were Shesterkin, Sorokin. You could say Vasilevsky. Those are like the top three. You can make a case for Ottinger.
Yeah, I was gonna say Ottinger. If the Jets had it better playoff success, then Hellebuck could be thrown in that conversation too, right? So
yeah. Swervin just mentioned Big Bob. So I guess that's now 5. That's probably your top 5 goalies in the league.
I remember the days when Demko was healthy. Demko would be in that conversation as a top 5 goalie. But the last 3-4 seasons when he couldn't stay healthy and play enough games, he's really fallen off from that group. So
yeah, absolutely. And yeah, it's making that extension look not good.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Demko, and I want him to be healthy. But that contract was stupid.
Oh,
at least you didn't have to do it this year.
Yeah,
you could have done it next year. Garland one, it's Garland, and at least he didn't really perform too much tonight. He wasn't too noticeable tonight. I noticed him a little bit. I mean, he is very small, so it's not hard not to notice him. But I don't mind the Garland extension, but it's the Demko one and then even Kane. Like I know I've seen some people talk. I think it was Dolly, or maybe the Canucks news summaries. So Corey posted in his news summary that teams around the league still don't know why the Canucks traded for Evander Kane. Like GMs around the league, they don't know why they did it.
Yeah,
like they're stumped. Well. Quick, one of them reporters ask Alvin Rutherford, why did you trade for this guy? But
how many of those extensions you mentioned, like Garland, Besser, Demko, was solely based on merit and performance and future value to the team score? And how much did those extensions play into trying to keep Quinn Hughes happy? Because they're all Quinn Hughes buddies. Which we now know that it didn't really work out with us trading Quinn, but how does those extensions now look to those guys? They signed, I would think part of their reasoning to extending and staying in Vancouver was, for Quinn.
Mm-hmm. Especially Garland. In particular Garland, for sure. I haven't watched his after hours interview yet, but I think someone mentioned in the chat that they talked about Quinn.
Yeah.
So I'm intrigued to rewatch that. And because I know he really took it hard.
Yeah.
I know Besser has too. And I believe Besser is kind of saying, or not Besser himself, but they're saying, I think that's weighed on Besser and why he's kind of been distracted and not, in a slump. But yeah, I will definitely check out the Garland interview. I always love his interviews. I've always been a big Garland guy. So
The heart
I
and soul
have
guy.
heard.
He's very outspoken.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I've even heard Canucks are hesitant to trade him. They don't want to because they love him that much. And I believe it was Dolly said, don't expect Garland to be available. They want to try and keep at least Garland and Myers are the two names who I've said who are probably as close to untouchable as you can get. They're two guys they don't want to move.
I think for that reason, and also because of the fear factor.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they move Garland, they really have nothing to show for it.
Mm-hmm.
They gave up Dylan Gunther. They gave up, OEL's still on, the buyout, and he's having a resurgent year in Toronto. So that part of the deal's gone. And if you move Garland, he's pretty much the last piece. And I don't think this fan base will go over very well giving up Dylan Gunther. Yeah, it hurts to imagine what Gunther would be doing in the Canucks jersey if we had that pick. But the past is the past. We know people just got to move on, and we got to accept what that deal brought us. And it brought us OEL, and it brought us Garland. But if we move Garland, we really don't have anything left from that trade tree to show for it. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I'm glad you brought up Gunther. That still hurts a little bit, but especially with the way OEL's been playing in Toronto, what the heck? I mean, even in Florida, he kind of had a bit of a resurgence in Florida. Goes on and wins a cup.
What is it with players and not performing here, and then when they go elsewhere, they flourish? Like freaking OEL, you think his career was done? We're buying him out. You're absolutely useless to us, right? And he's having a resurgent year. Former guys like Nate Schmidt, he's got 4 points tonight on Utah team. I'm just it just drives the nails into the hearts a little more into Canucks fans saying, why couldn't you do that shit here? Right? So.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. I mean, hey, at least I will say with OEL, at least it wasn't Eriksson. At least his career kind of, dropped off after we got rid of him. I mean, imagine if he had a resurgence and went somewhere and won a cup, you'd be like, fuck you. Yeah. Why didn't you do that here? But yeah, don't even get me started on Eriksson. I will go rage. I hated him.
But that's when they signed Eriksson to that 6x6, that ridiculous contract, they were like, we got a perennial 30-goal scorer, with great pedigree, winning pedigree, and now you put him on a line with the Sedin, and he's gonna easily be the next Anthony Carter, having 40 goals a year.
Yeah.
We all know how that went.
Yeah, and then he didn't do shit. Yeah,
exactly. $36 million down the drain.
Yeah. Did you see? I meant to do a video on it, but I didn't get around to doing it. I literally even had the thumbnail ready and whatnot. But this pertains to Sherwood. Did you see what Yannick Hansen said about trading Sherwood? He said, just please do it for once. Basically saying, just do it. Just don't try and hold on to a guy. Just do it for once. Trade. And I didn't read. I was doing my notes research for it. Kind of ended up not getting around to the video, but he was like, and I believe Gio did a video on it, and even Hansen is like, just fucking do it.
Yeah.
Pull the trigger. And it was great. It's
and I got to
give guys like that talking about
exactly
nowadays.
I mean, Hansen is so outspoken because he's had his experience as a Canuck here, and so he knows what the organization is about as a player, and he can see it from an external side after he stopped playing hockey, right? So it's just a fresh breath of air to hear that sort of honesty from Hansen, right? And I think that's why I gotta give a shout out to Irvin earlier when he was saying, when Sherwood was having an outstanding start to the season, scoring hat trick, um, the expectations for a return was a first round pick. But I honestly don't think the Canucks are gonna get anywhere close to that. Teams aren't even close to giving us any sort of tempting offer like that, right? So we gotta really temper our expectations on the Sherwood return and be realistic because the longer we hold on to him, and now with his injury out for a couple of weeks, that's only going to continue diminishing his value. His goal scoring has since dried up a little bit from his upstart, and that's factors into it. And now he's out for a couple of weeks. And teams know that. Teams know the position we're in the standings. Teams know we're desperate to rebuild or retool or whatever you want to call it and move these guys. They're not going to pay a premium, right? They have all the leverage. And that's what the scary part is because I want the Canucks to be patient and to know that it's not making a deal just because you have to make a deal. But at the same time, we can't afford to run out of time on the free agents and just let them walk for nothing. Right. So at the same time, Sherwood, I think, gets you at least a second and maybe a prospect. Right. But any talk about a first rounder, unless we're adding a sweetener or something, or we sign them to an extension and then trade them with that guarantee that it's not a rental for the acquiring team, that they have them for a few more years at a reasonable cap cost, then we might get it first. But with his injury now, with the Olympic break coming up, with the roster freeze, teams know time is slowly starting to run out. And I think the Canucks are going to have to make a move in the next, I think as soon as after this homestand even. So.
Yeah, I don't know if you caught the beginning, but obviously I have Sherwood in the thumbnail. People are going like, huh? He didn't even play. Well, one, I really like that picture. Have him doing his little thing. And two, I think Sherwood's played his last game as a Canuck. Whenever his last game was. And I would not be surprised if tomorrow Sherwood's traded.
Sherwood tomorrow,
so, there you go. There's a hot take there for you. But no, I was literally like thinking that when I was making the thumbnail. I was like, you know what? This guy's, and I think they may have said it on Sekeres and Price. I think he may have played his last game as a Canuck. Actually, no, I think it was Quads who said it on Canucks Combo. He won't be playing probably another game as a Canuck because of his injury. That leads up right up until the roster freeze and the Olympic break.
Yep.
I could see him being traded tomorrow, or at least within the next week. But Alfred has a very good point here. Can't go through a Hemu situation with Sherwood. Big no.
Yeah, no.
I completely almost forgot about the Hemu.
Oh, Dan Hemu.
Oh, what a stud! I miss him.
I mean, he was such a rock on the back end.
Yeah, I miss a lot of Canucks from back in the day.
Yeah.
Your Olins, obviously Edler.
Yeah.
Jovo. I actually just saw something on X the other day. Apparently it was 27 years since the Beret trade to Florida, where we got Jovo. I was like, holy shit, it's been 27 years since then. And then immediately I'm like, fuck, I'm old.
Yeah, exactly. That's my first thought too.
Yeah. So that was great. Obviously I mentioned, Jovo, Miss Jovo, I saw Brett Hedican on there. I remember Brett Hedican.
Adrian Aucoin.
Oh yeah, Gar Snow.
Yeah, Gar Snow. Yeah.
Arturs Urbe.
Yeah.
Bob Essenza, I remember too, very fondly.
Edith Gudra.
Oh yeah. We could probably go all night with all the
the old references. Yeah, exactly.
Eddie Lack.
Yeah.
Who I mentioned I did speak with. Hopefully sometime in the summer I can get Eddie Lack on. So there you guys go. A little bit of behind the scenes of how I get my guests and do my recruiting.
Nice.
I just reach out, like, yo, what's up?
Good. I mean, I encourage you
That's
to
how you,
continue
yeah,
doing
that's how
that.
you
You
do
know,
it.
you're building connections, you're networking, and it's a good way to get your name out there, get your podcast out there. And you're
Oh
really
yeah,
developing relationships and, connections with people in the industry, people in media. And, the more interviews you could do with those people, it's only going to continue expanding your reach outwards, right? So they could introduce other people to you that weren't even on your radar, right? So
yeah,
I'm really excited for you, bud. Like, keep up the great work. So.
yeah. I appreciate that. But Urban threw out a name, Jason LaBarbera. Holy.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's a good
man.
one.
Okay, if I thought Brett Hedican made me feel old, that one makes me feel really old.
Oh man, Jason LaBarbera.
Jeez. Oh man. Aaron Rome's another one.
Yeah, Aaron
Hanji I mentioned. Urban says could have had Gensel, but Ham Hughes exercised his no trade clause.
Oh,
I don't think I remember that. I didn't even know
yeah.
that.
I didn't. That's news
Because
to me.
I was pushing for Gensel that year he was a
He was
UFA.
highly
I was
touted.
pushing for him. I was
Yeah,
pushing for him. I was like, get this guy. And, he signs with Tampa.
he was highly touted for sure.
Oh, yeah. Oh, geez. Alfred. Curtis Sanford.
Oh my
Gee.
gosh. Jeez. Open with the throwback.
Oh, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love it. I love it. I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't even want to say his name.
So,
Dan Cloutier.
yeah, exactly. So I know
Yeah.
we talk Canucks most of the time, but one thing I do want to kind of throw out there is the Rasmus Anderson rumors.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the reason why is it's coming from it's going to be I think any day now. I think it's going to be that trade's going to drop. Could be tomorrow morning because I'm hearing from a division rival. He's one of the top premier defensemen that's out there on the trade block. And coming from the Calgary Flames, what sort of return are they going to get back from a team, right? For someone like that. I'm hearing Dallas. I'm hearing Vegas is always in the running for, top players. I wouldn't be surprised if they put someone on IR or have some sort of mystery injury and then suddenly acquire Rasmus Anderson on their stacked back end already. Can you imagine Theodore Anderson? It's nuts. And then I'm also hearing Boston Bruins. I'm also hearing the Boston Bruins as a team that, he could go to. So as a Canucks fan, having the Flames in our division, what do you think about Rasmus Anderson?
Yeah. I did see the Boston stuff earlier today.
Mhm.
I thought that was intriguing because I know we've been hearing Vegas almost all season, or ever since those trade rumors about Anderson started. We've only really heard Vegas, or
Yeah.
something about like him being only interested in Vegas. But yeah, no, that's interesting. And actually, I think I was watching a Flames podcast. I know. They're part of the network, so and they're
No
a
judgment.
good
No judgment.
they're a good couple of guys. So
Yeah.
I actually really enjoy some of their takes, and they actually were talking about Quinn Hughes in one of their episodes, and when
Oh
the
wow.
trade went down, and they said the Flames are probably going to get something similar to what we got for Quinn, like that big of a deal they're going to get,
Oh,
just because
so
that's the type of player that Anderson is. He's
so three to four first rounders or
yeah.
valued first rounders.
Yeah, he could very well get them a haul, depending on which team, forks it out. But
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised with Boston. They want to turn it around. What was it last season where they had that really, or was it started this season? They were really poor.
They were, yeah.
I think it was maybe last season they were really bad.
Yeah, exactly.
So they want to turn it around.
I agree with you, and I think I don't know what else Boston can offer other than like a first rounder, but I have heard Mason Lowry's name being thrown around. A pretty young, up and coming defenseman that can provide a little bit of offensive pop on the back end, and it could be pretty promising. You pair someone like him, who's a little bit defensively responsible, but still has a little bit of offensive touch, but is young, and you pair him for the future with like a Perek on the back end for Calgary, right? So that could be something to watch out for as well.
Yeah, definitely. And if we're talking Boston, I could see Anderson playing with McAvoy. I'm not sure which side either of them are on, because I don't follow them all that too much. But I could see a pairing of McAvoy and Anderson. That would be one heck of a pairing.
Anderson, McAvoy, Hampus Lindholm when he's healthy. Zadorov. Yeah.
That would be
that would be a pretty deep top four. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, especially with McAvoy, I feel as though he's kind of taken a bit of a step back. I know he had that really scary injury. So, but no, I remember having McAvoy in my fantasy a couple of years ago, and he lit it up.
He's pretty steady on the power play too.
Yeah, he hasn't really been that same type of player.
Yeah.
Like I said, I know he had that scary injury. I think it was last season.
I also think the Boston Bruins, like their forward makeup when McAvoy was lighting it up, was also so different from what he's used to now. You still have Pasternak there, but back then you had Pasternak, Marchand, Bergeron, right? So it was very easy for McAvoy to be a part of that stacked power play and stacked line. So.
Yeah, definitely. Especially with we've talked about obviously Zacha, as being a target for the Canucks in the past. He's kind of taken a bit of a step back. And I think that is a bit of a domino effect with Bergeron, leaving. That's part of the reason why Boston went at least in my opinion, overpaid for Lindholm.
Yeah.
Because they needed somebody to replace Bergeron, and they wanted Lindholm. And I feel as though Zacha's kind of suffered because of that. They kind of originally probably saw Zacha as that guy to take over for Bergeron, and he just hasn't really panned out.
Yeah.
Again, I'm no Bruins expert. I don't claim to be, nor will I ever want to be.
Not as a Canucks fan, not after 2011.
Heck no. Yeah, and then they didn't they just have something about Chara? I saw that, I think, on social media. Something about Chara. I think, was it induction or something? At least for, Boston's version of the Ring of Honor or whatever. Mm-hmm. I was like, yeah, I don't care. It's Chara. I hate him. I hate Chara. So I was like, whatever. But, definitely McAvoy. I think McAvoy, Anderson, they could definitely be in the hunt for Anderson. Vegas. I think Vegas and Boston are the two teams you need to look out for.
Yeah, so, Vegas is always going to be in
anything else from anyone else.
Vegas is always in the market for guys. So.
Oh yeah.
So we'll see.
Mm-hmm. They're like the Dodgers of the.
Oh
NHL.
Man, I was just gonna say, as a Blue Jays fan, like that would be such a perfect analogy.
Oh yeah. That's been going through that. I don't know if you guys noticed. Notice how I shed the jersey, and now I'm repping Blue Jays right now. So that's how terrible of a game we had tonight.
Yeah.
I shed the jersey, Blue Jay stuff.
It's seasonal, man.
Even though I'm still not. Oh yeah. Even though I'm still not happy about the whole Tucker thing.
Yeah, I don't blame you, bud. But anyways,
it'll pass.
Yeah. Anyways, I gotta take care of some things before I call it a night, but I just want to say thanks for having me on. I always appreciate the work that you put in on a day-to-day basis on your podcast, and there's a lot of Canucks content. That's what makes this community and this fan base the way it is. We're so passionate and just so grateful for you being one of those guys to help spread the news around and spread the content around. So Thanks for having me tonight. I appreciate your takes as always, your friendship as well, and just keep up the great work. So
Yeah, I appreciate it, brother. And we'll end off with this because Irvin, like always, Boston is like the real working version of Retool, but in a hybrid form. Love
bring
it.
it right
And
back up to the Canucks.
you got me saying hybrid form at work for crying out loud. And people are like, what the hell are you talking about? But I really appreciate the kind words, Justin, as always. I absolutely love doing this. Even there's obviously there's Doodle, Clay.
Yep.
It's not competition. It's not
No.
competition.
No, we're all in this to help support each other and make each other's, it just makes the community that much stronger. No matter which side of the, retool, rebuild side you're on, we're all part of the fan base. We all have our opinions and takes, which we respect, no matter how different, because at the end of the road, this is a journey. We're all fans on a journey wanting to see this team eventually win a cup, right? So if we didn't care about this team, we didn't fall in love with this team, we invest our time, money into this team, we wouldn't give a shit about what they do, but that's what sets this fan base apart from many others out there is the passion. So got to keep the community strong. So
yeah, I couldn't have said it any better myself. Yeah.
Yeah.
I even have people asking me like, how are you still doing content? I was like, with them losing, I'm like, it's still content. They're giving me something to talk about.
Yeah.
But yeah, once again, I appreciate you, Justin. Thanks for hopping on. Definitely won't be the last time. I'll definitely get you on again for sure.
For sure.
Appreciate it, buddy.
Thanks. Appreciate it. Have a good night.
See you, bud. All right, that was J-Dog, my good buddy Justin. I just realized we're an hour and 27 minutes into this, and I haven't done my sponsor read. That's twice. That's back-to-back videos now where I completely forgot. So let me quickly do that, and then we'll keep the discussion going. I'm not too sure how much longer we'll go because I think we got some pretty darn good stuff. So yeah, let me start off thanking my main and primary sponsor, none other than DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner, of the NHL. Let me. Is this what's going on here? No. Freaking technology. Oh, that's why. Technology. Anyway, thanking my primary sponsor, DraftKings Sportsbook. Never experienced the jaw-dropping moments that make hockey? Hockey? Well, you can experience them all with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. Missouri listeners, listen up. DraftKings Sportsbook is now live in the Show Me State. New customers, this one's for you. Bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN, that's code THPN, to turn $5 into $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 8778-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY, which is 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-78-9777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. Pass-through per wager may apply in Illinois. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets, which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. This is a limited time offer. Copyright NHL 2025. All rights reserved. Secondary sponsor. None other than Gassy Jack Art, maker of this amazing artwork you see in front of you, as well as over my shoulder. And you guys can check them out yourselves at GassyJackArt.com. All right. So let me get back into the comments here. Oh, good to see you, Simon. See you in the chat. Boston is still competitive. is what I mean. Yeah. Yeah. J Money, great job, Justin. Yeah, that was great. I absolutely loved that chat with Justin. That was great. It's always nice to hear your beautiful voice, and it's always nice to hear both of your voices, guys, Mr. Justin, Mr. Tyler. Thank you, Simon. I really appreciate that, man. Oh, at 20, isn't Anderson more of a rent? Yeah. I mean, if we're still talking Anderson, yeah, I could see him as a potential rental for whichever team gets him. I'm not sure if actually, what is his contract status right now? Is he? I know he's what, like going to be a. Oh, where'd you look at that? Oh, we were just talking about Boston and Rasmus Anderson. I know we're a Canucks thing right now, but as of 1 hour ago, it's Sportsnet or reporting that the Flames have given the Bruins permission to speak to Anderson. So, interesting. Very, very interesting. So yeah, Anderson is a pending free agent. Could be traded before the Olympic break. With Boston reportedly having permission to discuss an extension. So yeah, it looks like Boston's been given permission to talk to Anderson about an extension. So like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if I saw Anderson go to Boston. Like what Justin and I both said, I think that would be a killer top pairing with McAvoy. And yeah, Alpern, it sounds like Boston's getting him. It's just a matter of, it's not a matter of if, but a matter of when. And I think he would slot into that Boston, not only the lineup, but into that locker room pretty well. I mean, not call it Boston Research. There's that. Urban. Of course, Lindholm will be in the GM's ear telling him how good he thinks Anderson is. I wouldn't be surprised if that swayed Anderson. The fact that Lindholm's there, Zadorov, a couple former teammates, I would not be surprised at all about that. Shit, what time is it? Holy crap, it's 12:30. Technically, it's Sunday. Calgary used our pick to get Anderson. Never forget. Yeah, that's. Oh yeah, I remember that. We'll probably go another 30 minutes, I think. I totally forgot. Zadorov and Lindholm were teammates in Calgary. I mean, yeah, they were teammates here in Vancouver too. But yeah. I remember, us getting Zadorov a couple Novembers ago, and then us getting Lindholm. What was it? January-ish is when we got Lindholm. So, since we kind of covered the Canucks game, and I know this is called the post-game show, but we basically covered that in like probably first 10-15 minutes of this. Let's see if there's anything else to discuss. Okay. I'm not sure the legitimacy of this. It's only my second one later. So, and it's only that high. It's only my second one later. And I think the one I had earlier was only half full. So it wasn't even a full one. At least I don't think it was. But no, I just saw something on NHL trade rumors, just through Google. So again, take it with a pinch of salt. From Friday, January 6th, so a couple days ago, involving the Rangers. And obviously, we all know the Rangers were interested in Sherwood. Dolly made it well known and clear on him. It's not just the Rangers. But apparently the Rangers actually had an offer for Sherwood, and the Canucks turned it down. So it says here, Vancouver Canucks is pending UFA. Keeper Sherwood is on the trade block, and they've been taking offers from teams all over the league. The Rangers are one of those teams that put a deal on the table recently. But they're now on Friday that they're now in a retool hybrid form period. That they'll be buying on such demand. Basically, the Rangers took themselves out of the running for Sherwood. But apparently the Rangers had this offer turned down by the Canucks. But the Rangers put on the table, I'm told, from Chris Johnson from ESPN, but the Rangers put a table with pedigree and a second-round pick. That wasn't good enough to get it done recently. I think that tells us a lot about how Vancouver views Keeper Sherwood. Now, it doesn't say who the player or who the young player was with pedigree. So I'm actually very curious to know. It does show it on this. I thought it was going to show this. But it doesn't. It just young player with. Who would that be? I'm not really sure. Maybe they offered them Schneider. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they did offer him. But at the same time, yes, the Canucks were interested in Schneider in the past. They're probably not interested in him anymore because now they have Bouillon, they have Villander, they have DPD. They're pretty stacked on defense, so they probably just felt like they didn't need Schneider anymore. And they have Mancini. I forgot Mancini. So I wouldn't be surprised if that was the young player with the pedigree. So in your opinion, what do you think is going to happen with the deadline for Vancouver this year, in your opinion, Mr. Tyler? I think there's going to be more sell-offs by the deadline. The Canucks are most definitely sellers at the deadline. So I think, like I mentioned to Justin, I think Sherwood could be traded as early as tomorrow. And then once Sherwood's gone, I think it's going to be a domino effect. And we're going to start seeing some moves. If Sherwood is traded, like, for example, tomorrow, I could see some trades happening up until the roster freeze and the Olympic break. And once that's over, keep in mind, there's only a little over a week between the end of the Olympic break and roster freeze to the trade deadline. So there's I think it's 11 days or something like that. Excuse me. And that's not a whole lot of time to make moves. So I expect either a ton of moves in the lead up to the Olympic break, and I'm talking about the Canucks, as well as most other teams as well. I'm talking about the Canucks mainly though. And if it doesn't happen before the Olympic break, it's gonna happen within the week after the Olympic break. You're gonna see a bunch, possible, one trade this day, a trade the next day, or multiple trades in one day. I could see that happening just before the deadline for the Canucks. But yeah, definitely selling. no buying. The best tank job was Pittsburgh tank in 1984 to get Lemieux. Yeah. I think the lottery didn't even exist back then. Yeah, I'm not sure. I can't remember off the top of my head when the lottery actually came into effect, or they started, doing the lottery. Is that your Patrick Alvin impression there, Alfred? I wonder what the offer the Rangers put on the table for the Vancouver Canucks to reject it. Imagine Canucks trade Sherwood for a pick and a prospect and use the pick they got from the trade to get something else. Oh boy, there would probably be an uproar if they, traded the pick, even though it would be a second. More likely, obviously, because they've gotten hit with a big dose of reality that they're not going to get a first, at least an actual first round pick. Could the prospect be a first, like a former first rounder? Sure. But what do you think you would want that would, from all these trades, in your opinion, for Vancouver, your opinion for this team? What do you want from all these trades? Draft picks, draft capital. That is what I want. I want to get as many picks as you can so you can build towards the future. Because like I kind of was joking around with Justin, we were obviously naming off a bunch of those old players from like the 90s. I ain't getting any younger. And I'm a lot like Kempner, Rev Trav. I ain't getting a whole lot younger, and I want at least one Stanley Cup before I die. So hopefully getting those picks will help the future. And hopefully we can potentially be a contender within maybe 4, maybe 5 years. I mean, that might be, a little, yikes, but, it might take longer. But, hopefully that is the earliest. Or maybe, no, I mean, that's what I would prefer. I don't want 7 or 8 or heaven forbid 10 years. But I would be okay with, between 3 and 5 years. And that is just 100% me. I don't speak for the entire fan base, just myself. So that, to me, 3 to 5 is a window I'd be satisfied with. So, wow, 64 people in here. That's awesome. I absolutely love it. And that's after a 6-0 loss to the Edmonton Oilers. That we got that many people in here. But yeah, Urban says it. Yeah, so much can change in 6 years. Absolutely. Just look at what changed in 3 years for this team. Bo, Miller, Petey. I want to say Lindholm, because yeah, we had Lindholm too. But just those main 3. Bo, Miller, Petey. Oh, and Quinn. Can't believe I forgot Quinn. And Quinn. That, with the exception of one, changed in 3 years. And yeah, Urban has a very good point. 6 years from now, all of the players that we have now could very well be gone. Even somebody like Petey could be gone 6 years from now. Like, he may not be a Canuck 6 years from now. Alvin and Rutherford could be gone. I mean, I would most certainly see Rutherford being gone. Not like, not basically retired is what I mean. I could see him being gone. I think once Rutherford goes, Alvin goes too. I would not be surprised, or the other way around. Would not be surprised. So I think Foot would be most certainly gone. Foot would most certainly be gone. Perhaps we could see the Sedins in a coaching role, like as maybe like an assistant coach, maybe. No, like moving up from their developmental current position. Yeah. Irvin says that 34 years old, PD could be a completely different player. Yeah. Excuse me. Totally. 100%. Totally. Even Besser. I mean, Besser would probably be at the tail end of his career at that point. Same with, or maybe DeBrusque. Or no, Besser's, I think, right. Besser, I know Besser's older than PD. PD's 27. Besser is, I think, a year older. So they would both be probably completely different players at that point. In your opinion, what do you think about the management for Vancouver? How do you feel about our management going on, in your opinion, for the next couple of years? Honestly, I don't mind Rutherford at all. I don't mind him at all. I mean, I absolutely hated Jim Benning, like with a passion. I absolutely hated Benning. I thought he was terrible. And the whole, we ran out of time crap really soured me on him, because I was very high on Toffoli. And I thought Toffoli was a great pickup, especially via a trade. And he was so good as soon as he got traded. He's kind of like, it's the same way I feel about Sherwood right now. Sherwood was such a great signing, played great for us for the 2 years that he's been with us. I kind of felt that way with Toffoli when he was here. So I really wanted them to re-sign him. And the fact that Benning's excuse was we ran out of time. And then we end up losing Tanev and then Markstrom. And I just thought that offseason was a total, they completely butchered that. So I absolutely hated Benning. I absolutely loved Gillis. Loved Berkey. Trying to think who else. Obviously, I love Trevor. Linden. Love Linden. Obviously, Pat Quinn. Loved him. But I like Rutherford. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm not exactly a big fan of Alvin. I just, think Alvin's a bit of a puppet. And I just can't really take Alvin all that seriously. Especially with his, the stuff that he says. But I don't hate Alvin. I don't think the Canucks have had a single GM that I've hated. Except for, Benning. Benning's, I think that's about it. But like what Urban is saying in the chat, Gillis had his flaws. Yeah, every single one of them has their flaws. And don't even get me started on coaches. Because there are a couple Canucks coaches that I absolutely despise. And we're, thinking, management, why did you bring these guys in? Like, why? But yeah, I don't hate Rutherford and Alvin. And I'm okay with them, permitting they don't say stupid shit in the media, which is, we've seen what they've done. It seems like they had to do damage control recently with Rutherford doing 2 separate interviews with Gary Mason and Patrick Johnston, PJ from the province. He had to do 2 separate interviews with them. And yes, Urban, I was getting to that. They were all under the same owner. Yeah. I talk about coaches I don't like or coaches I despise. Mentioned, I'm not sure if there's really any GMs that I despise other than Benning. Ownership. Well, as LA Knight would say, well, let me talk to you. I fucking hate I hate Aqua. I hate Aquilini. I've hated him since I've never at one point have I liked him in my Canucks fandom. I absolutely despise him, especially hearing the story about him and Gallardi. Hearing that story from back in the day, where he basically screwed him over, and bought the Canucks right from under him. I mean, just imagine if we had Gallardi as an owner. We probably, I mean, obviously it depends on your on ice product and the players. But imagine if we had a guy like Tom Gallardi as our owner, might be a good chance we could have had a cup by now. Do you guys think that is fair to say if we had Tom Gallardi as an owner instead of Francesco Aquafina? In your opinion, how do you like the owners? Oh, I'm basically just answering that right now. I would obviously much prefer Tom Gallardi over Francesca. And I think everybody would prefer Tom Gallardi over Francesca. I just said it again. Aquilini. I mean, there's probably other owners that people like more probably than Gallardi, but if you had to choose Gallardi or Aquilini, probably 99% people would vote for Gallardi. And there probably would be that 1%, that one person who'd be like, yeah, just for the heck of it, I'm going to, pick Aqua. But we're really looking back here. Isildur, I think this is the first time I've seen you here. I've seen you on Doodles. So great to see you. Thanks for joining. It's his fault we didn't resign to Foley, by the way. Oh, Aqua. Yeah. Would we have the Grizzlies to... Oh, if we had Gallardi? That's actually a good question. That's a very, very good question. Now, I wasn't the biggest Grizzlies fan back in the day. But I didn't hate them. I didn't mind them. I remember Mike Bibby. I remember, who was it? Kareem Abdul. I remember those guys. Bibby, I remember very, very vividly. Bibby. I was more of a Raptors fan when I was kind of into basketball. Back when I was, what was it? Elementary to middle school, I was more. I didn't mind. I liked basketball back then. Paid more attention to it. But I was a big Raptors guy. Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady. That was probably the height of my basketball fandom. But then it's obviously switched to hockey. Thank you, Urban. Sharif Abdur Rahim. Urban, boo, Toronto. Hey, I'm repping Toronto right here, man. Was Gallardi post exit? I can't remember. I do know this was like what, mid 90s. The whole Aquilini buying the Canucks. Yeah, I think this may have been mid 90s, so I can't remember exactly when the Grizzlies went out. I know it was around the 90s that the Grizzlies went out, or went to Memphis, I should say. Today, that would be a $10 billion enterprise and a built-up Falls Creek, I would expect by now. Missed opportunity. Yeah, that's a very good point. You know, Ghilardi's, and I know a little bit about Ghilardi because he's actually my boss. He owns Grouse Mountain, or he owns the company that owns Grouse Mountain. He's the president of Northland Properties, which owns Grouse Mountain, and a whole bunch of other stuff. You know, like Denny's, a bunch. You know, Sandman Hotels, a bunch like that. Tom Ghilardi is the guy. So I like to jokingly say he's my boss. I work for him. So yeah, I think you're, and he's, the way he does stuff. I haven't actually met Tom before, so, and he probably doesn't even know who I am either. But yeah, I completely agree. I think that he could have done a $10 billion enterprise and really built up. I mean, and this is really going to be a bit of a kicker. If Tom Ghilardi was the owner of the Vancouver Canucks, we'd have a fucking practice facility, and I can guarantee you that. And Aquilini's in real estate. That is probably a fact. Lennon's got to get an ownership group going. Yeah, hey, I wouldn't mind that. Yeah, be like, screw you, Aquafina. Let's get a bunch of, get Buble, get Ryan Reynolds, get Trevor Linden. Boom. Maybe they have Grouse Mountain, Northland. Yeah, Northland Properties. You have a Calgary kid. He wanted a team. He got one. Dallas. Yeah. And hey, he's done a lot with Dallas. So, how much is Ghilardi's net worth? That's actually a really good question. Very, very good question. I wonder if I can just Google that. All right. Tom Ghilardi, owner of the Dallas Stars, has an estimated net worth around $3.92 billion as of late 2022, making him one of Canada's wealthiest individuals, largely from his family's Northland Properties business. So yeah, that's his net worth as of 2022. I'm sure that's gone up because Northland has bought a bunch of different stuff. But yes, Northlands is a multi-billion-dollar industrial giant for sure. I mean, they're talking about turning Grouse into an actual like resort and building a hotel. I don't think it would be at the top of the mountain. It would be like maybe more so at the base. If Ghilardi was the owner, the Abbey Boys would have their rings. I'll tell you that for free. Yeah, that is crazy. And I've tried to stay away from that and not talk about it. I talked about it briefly when I had Dave Hall on about a week ago. We kind of briefly touched on that. And yeah, it's like what CM Punk says. Oh, where are my ice cream bars? Except it's where are our championship fucking rings? I think that is absolutely insane. That it's freaking January 2026. Abbey won the Calder Cup in June, and they still don't have their championship rings. So crazy. Oh, you're talking about North Ends? Yeah, definitely. So he's not that much more than Aquilini. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't know exactly what Aquilini is, but King Horse Mountain Resort is a Gallardi enterprise. Yeah. Interwest Resorts, yeah. Yeah. So I see him doing that with grouse, turning that into an actual like full-fledged like resort. I mean, they already have the new gondola that they built. They have the mountain biking park that they opened this past summer. They have the roller coaster that I think last I heard was still being built, although not as of late. But I believe it'll be done by the summer. So it'll be open for the summer, even though it was technically supposed to be open last summer or this past summer. Right now, we are further from June 2025 than we are to June 2020. Exactly my point. How do they not have their championship rings yet? Because Aquilini is so effing cheap. Should take over Cyprus. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's always competition between Cyprus and Grouse. The only thing is, Grouse has their own snowmaking machine. Cyprus does not. So when it doesn't snow, Grouse can still, get by because they can make snow if it's raining. Cyprus cannot do that. So they literally have to wait for Mother Nature. So, I mean, I'm not sure if they've since gotten one, but last I heard, Cyprus didn't have a snow machine or a snowmaking machine. I've actually never been up to Cyprus. I should actually check out both Cyprus and Seymour just to see the difference between Grouse and them. Boyne Resorts is a USA company licensed operators. All right. What time is it? Oh, geez. Wow. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, I think I'm going to cut it there. But this was good. 2 hours, like just over 2 hours, 2 hours and 2 minutes. We had Justin on, which was fantastic. We saw Gerald. Gerald made an appearance. For all the way from, I believe he was still in Thailand. Like he was leaving Thailand to go back to Bangkok. So Gerald popped in. Irvin popped in. It was great. Yeah, we talked a little bit about Canucks, within the first 15 to 20 minutes, and that was all we needed. The rest was just Canucks talk, talked about the future, talked about tanking, just good Canucks discussions. I'm not going to say conversation, discussions. But this was good. I mean, those 2 hours flew by. And honestly, I enjoyed this 10 times more than the actual game itself. So I will say that. So once again, thank you for being here. I appreciate every single one of you that watch. Obviously, I'm trying to get to 3,000 watch hours by the end of, at least by the end of February, because I believe that is my deadline that YouTube has set before my watch hours, reset because of the 365 days. If you are a content creator and how the YouTube monetization or at least the memberships work, it is a 365-day window that you gotta amass 3,000 watch hours, at least 500 subscribers, and I think post 3 videos, upload 3 videos. I'm at almost 1,000 videos. So yeah, I'm trying to hit that by the end of February, which I believe is my deadline. I could be wrong. I can't remember exactly when they start that, because technically I started the channel, made the account in December. So I'm not sure when that starts. So I'm trying to hit 3,000 by the end of February. And as of right now, let me look it up. Where is it? Oh, it's actually gone up. So I'm at 1,737. So I'm over halfway. to that 3,000 mark. So if I can get it to 3,000 by the end of, let's say, February, I will have memberships and I will be able to do a bunch of cool stuff for you guys, exclusives. We could do giveaways, you name it. So that is my goal, to try and hit that. So of course, any little bit of help always helps. So like I said, I greatly appreciate every single one of you for watching and continuing to watch and supporting. Obviously, I absolutely love this community, with Clay, Jacob, Kempner, the Uncensored Boys, Jordan and Witt, you name it, Russell. I absolutely love it. And honestly, I don't know what I'd be doing now if it wasn't for that. So, as always, let's keep tanking. Let's keep tanking. Sorry. I really need to get that out of my head. But yes, 6-0 loss to the Edmonton Oilers. But hey, hopefully there's a payoff to this lost season. And hopefully we don't just Canuck and lose out on the lottery and actually are able to get the first overall pick. And hopefully it's either McKenna or Stenberg. But we will hopefully see when the draft, or no, not the draft, when the lottery happens. So thanks once again for watching, guys. I really, like I keep saying, I appreciate every single one of you. And if you guys like this video, be sure to hit that like button. And if you want to stay up to date on all your Vancouver Canucks content, be sure to smash that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you don't miss a single video. Also, just a reminder, we got our own merchandise. Yeah, you heard that right. We are currently selling our 1-year anniversary collection. Obviously, we are rapidly approaching our 1 year, which is the whole February that I was talking about. We're approaching our 1 year anniversary, so I decided to do a whole new logo, complete in blue and green, Canucks blue and green, as well as a skate version. And if I do say so myself, that black skate hoodie looks pretty mint. And I'm actually in the process of ordering my own so I can, showcase it to you guys. So go ahead, check it out, thelinechangepodcast.threadless.com. There is a sale going on, so go ahead and check it out. You can find and interact with us on social media. We're everywhere: Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, even Blue Sky. Feel free to give us a follow on all of our social media platforms. Also, if you want to have discussions such as the one that we had tonight, including with guys like Justin, and I know he wasn't around for most of it, but Duolingo, join our official Discord. There is a link to it in the description down below. It's completely free to join, and we can have more conversations and discussions about your Vancouver Canucks in the official Discord. So go ahead and check that out. If you prefer an audio version of this podcast, you can find us on both Spotify and Apple Podcast. On Spotify, feel free to give us a follow, as well as rate and review us on either platform. It's, of course, greatly appreciated. And also, if you have a specific episode that you absolutely loved and want to watch over and over and over again, you can download said episode. And that also really helps out the podcast, as, the amount of downloads means good things for the podcast. And it is, of course, greatly appreciated. And like I said, it really helps out the podcast. So if you can do that, that would be awesome. You are not obligated to do so, however. But once again, I'm glad you guys were able to join me for this very long, over 2-hour post game that was only 10 minutes of actual game and, post game. And the rest was just Canucks discussions. But as always, I'm going to go ahead and say it. Thank you for watching, and let's go Canucks. I know, lost 10 straight, but keep faith, things will turn around. The payoff in a few years is going to be glorious. It's going to be good. And we just got to get there. We just got to get there. And it starts with the first overall pick. So once again, thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate every single one of you. And as always, like I just said, let's go Canucks. Let's go McKenna, Stenberg. Either one, doesn't matter. Get them. And I'll catch you guys next time.